Hello and welcome viewers to our podcast series, Acuiti Talks. In this series, we are going to be covering a new topic, which is talking about how the industry is shifting from manual systems to automated billing and also usage-based, subscription-based models. In this series, we are going to be welcoming a special guest, Rishi, who is the SAP Alliance and Head of SAP Practice at Acuiti Labs. He brings an immense amount of experience and knowledge in the field, and we are very excited to have him on board. Hello Rishi, and welcome to this series of Acuiti Talks. We are very excited to have you here. How are you feeling today?
Very excited, Ria. Thank you for the introduction. Very excited to share my experience, my knowledge of what I've gained through this conversation. Very excited.
Yeah, that's great. So I think the first topic or the first question that I have for you today, we have been seeing this immense shift in the industry of, shifting from manual systems to usage-based models and subscription billing. In your experience, how is that been?
I would say gone are the days when any seller or business wanted to do one-time sale of their product or services. Things are moving towards subscription because business is looking for a long-term, steady, recurring revenue stream. And I feel subscription is this answer to that. Even in that, a lot of evolution from pricing and modeling is happening. So if you look at the journey, it started with vanilla subscription, wherein for the services there was a fixed amount which used to get charged. Even there are still some companies which work on that model. But then things evolved, and it's shifting towards usage consumption-based pricing. And even in that usage consumption-based, you'll see a lot of variations. So as the market is maturing and customers are getting ever demanding, businesses or the customers are coming up with innovative pricing models to attract more and more customers so that customer can get more value of any money or any penny they spend. So if you talk about the different variation, let's say in the usage-based billing, one is simple plain vanilla usage-based billing. But if you look at, means customer is paying for what they're using. But if you look at and from the seller's perspective, there's always a limit of uncommitted revenue. So in the down market, you would see that the revenue is, the consumption is dipping, which then adversely impact the seller. And this is where slowly they're thinking of a revised variation or a different model, wherein customer can give an upfront commitment of the usage. Definitely, it's good for the seller and even for the customer because they know what they're paying. If they are aware of their consumption, they can control the cost. But as the businesses are growing, right? So if you look at from the customer perspective, they definitely would have negotiated on the price for the committed. But if the demand of the usage is fluctuating, they might not be able to get the right price for when they are at the peak. And this is where I see a lot of transition happening to a hybrid pricing model, which definitely is a variation of the usage-based, but it's a mix or amalgamation of usage plus some commitment given to means agreed between the users and the seller. More flexible, more adaptive to the current need, and more predictable revenue stream for this as well. And if there are customers who want to experiment before committing to something, then definitely that goes well with this hybrid pricing model. So as you see, it started with plain simple subscription, but things are evolving in this area as well.
Yeah. That's an actually very interesting insight. I think that by that and the usual shift of technology and the speed at which things are growing and innovating, it's so important that companies also get on board and stay ahead of the curve in their innovation so that they can ultimately keep the customer happy as well as themselves, avoiding the whole manual systems which were prone to so many errors and things like that. My next question from there would be derived to BRIM, which is this amazing software suite, right? And how that has become or can be a game changer for various companies. So I know we touched upon this topic before with Manoj in our series 1, but would you like to share any insights on it?
Definitely, I can talk about. So according to me, technology should always be enabler to what businesses are looking for. I still see a lot of businesses still running on their old outdated system which were implemented decades back. Definitely they are not flexible, they are not scalable, and they can't meet the current demand. And if you look at SAP BRIM as a product, it's business agnostic. So it's not confined to one line of business, say telecom or any other thing. Anything which can be, which requires a subscription or usage-based or variation of usage-based, BRIM is the solution for. It is made to manage complex B2B contracts and tariff, and can also manage large volume B2C customers as well. So you can see telecom customers onboarding to BRIM, which talks about millions and billions of transactions day or month, whereas it can also be used for industries like more B2B centric, which is an example could be your food business, wherein big liners would have very complex tariff with you, and it's able to manage that too. So it gives a wide variety of options to a customer to adapt to whatever latest one they want to offer and stay competitive in the business.
So when it comes to dealing with industry-specific challenges, what do you think are the innovative approaches that businesses can, align with and get on board with so that they can get out of the crowd and ahead of the curve?
Few common things which comes out in conversation with our customers are, and again, it's more about the businesses who are still running on old implemented systems, the long-standing DSOs, still a lot of manual processes within the system, and everyone is looking for a system which can support in their growth trajectory, right? They are looking for a flexible system which can scale to the ever-evolving business need, and they also want to be very agile when it comes to launching or with their go-to-market strategy, right? And BRIM definitely is one of the solution, and I won't market ourselves or sell ourselves, but we are working as well. So what sets us apart is basically our focus on Q2C processes, and there is a perception that SAP BRIM implementation is an IT implementation, whereas what we see is it's a business transformation, right? Technology definitely is the layer, but what is getting changed is the way business operates, right? So, which definitely understanding of BRIM is very important, but having that domain experience is also as important as understanding of the product is, and that is one of our key, because all our people, as we are very much focused on Q2C, not only have very strong understanding of BRIM, but how different industry operates, right? And if you look at our customer base, we operate from telecom to travel and logistics, so that definitely sets us apart, because we can talk in the language which business want to hear, and with all our industry experience, we can share our knowledge. And when we are doing that implementation, it's not only about implementing what the business requirement is. We do a lot of discussion, collaboration on what best practices are being followed across, and how we can simplify and automate the business processes with a very simplified data model as well. And if we try to simplify those business processes or the data model, the scalability, right, becomes very easy for them. So these are a few things which definitely businesses are adapting to, and again, working with us makes that little easy for them.
I think reiterating on the point that you mentioned for Acuiti Labs having that expertise, do you think from your perspective, just knowing BRIM or actually working with leaders in that space and experienced professionals makes a huge difference for companies that are implementing BRIM and overall getting them and guiding them to more operational efficiency levels?
If you see across, the common means every project, every engagement will be different in terms of their demand, in terms of their expectation, what will happen, what magic will happen after implementation. But one thing is very common, which is the outcome. Everyone wants to have a successful implementation, and if you look around, definitely that domain experience is very important. And if you look at our consultant base or the people who are working with us, they've seen BRIM evolving as a product, right? So it's not that we are very new to this, and that helps us because we know how the product is maturing, and the product is maturing to manage it to what the customer or business demand is in this market. So that way, definitely it helps. We also have gone ahead a little bit. Definitely SAP recommends Activate as a project methodology to implement it. But if you talk about BRIM, it's a different piece or a different ball game altogether to implement BRIM for any, because BRIM is primarily for large enterprises or mid-sized enterprises, and it's a massive change in terms of how business will be operating with the new system. We have fine-tuned Activate and made it custom fit for BRIM implementation. We internally call it as Activate Plus, and definitely that has worked for all the engagement where we are currently involved in. And this is where all the engagements we are in, we say it means all the engagements are 100% success. And when we say success, 100% success, that means it's quantifiable, right? Means all our customers are referenceable, and they will only talk good about us just because they would have seen value working with us.
I think that completely speaks volumes, right? Because it's not just us talking about it, but rather we do have, like you said, 100% success rate, which is like such a huge number. I mean, there's nothing beyond that, right? That's completely amazing, right? Listening about all of these things, I think it's kind of, our viewers would probably like to know the successful stories that we've had of our clients or any other, stories that you can think of, probably one or many, as much as you'd like, that companies that have thrived post BRIM implementation.
Okay, so let me talk you through some of the success which SAP BRIM has brought, and then we'll talk about a couple of transformation wherein we have supported customer. As I said earlier, BRIM is business agnostic, right? So if you look around the breadth of offering from SAP BRIM, you'll see Microsoft using BRIM for their customer billing. You would see Reliance Jio using BRIM for their quote-to-cash process. A lot of airports, seaports, and even postal companies are using. So this talks about the volume of what SAP BRIM can bring to the table for the business around and the different business verticals as well. If we talk about our success stories, very recently we implemented SAP BRIM for a seaport company in the Middle East, and then we joined the value study just to see what transformation they are seeing after this, and the results were so encouraging that the company or organization decided that they'll move on to the next port, and just 2 months back we concluded that implementation as well. And now we are in talks with rolling this solution out to their 22 other ports which are located globally. Wow. So definitely we see, means customers seeing the value, not only with BRIM, but with us as well, right? Another example is an AdTech company in France. AdTech is a very competitive space, and for them, go-to-market strategy is very important. They need to be very agile in having their products launch as soon as, and definitely BRIM has helped in. Again, after implementation, so they already have implemented BRIM, and they have nearly rolled out that solution to all their line of businesses across globe, because they have operation in some 70, 80 countries. Again, their value study or their assessment of this transformation suggests that they have seen a significant FTE saving. Again, as I said, the time to market has obviously improved. As they are into B2B, so they don't want to have disputes because they have got bigger invoices to the customer. And then again, B2B is a very different way of dealing to your customer compared to the B2C. So again, the billing accuracy has improved because SAP BRIM gives you an option wherein even before the final invoice, you have a performer invoice where you can review so that you don't have disputes later on, right? And with this all is leading to the reduction in DSO. They have been able to fill the gap of their revenue leakages, which all leading to their improved top line and bottom line. So these are a few examples, but there are other stories as well. If you have some other time, we can talk through each of our customers. And
thank you very much, Rishi. I think these were some very insightful points, but I think this is not the end of it. We'll continue this conversation in our upcoming episodes with you and definitely try to dig deeper into this topic.
Sure, yeah. Thanks for hosting me here. It was my first experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you.
So that was it, viewers, for this episode of our podcast, Acuiti Talks. We'll meet again in the upcoming episode where we will continue exploring this topic with our guest. Thank you.